Hello and good evening, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of Try Hard Sports, the Extra Yard. I am Keith Giles here again, and we have some amazing games to look back to from last week. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in my good friend, my cohort, Joey Blaze. Mr. Blaze, how you doing there, my good man?
Doing absolutely wonderful, sir. It is quite a beautiful night here with me and the ladies. Have you caught that?
No, sorry, got the headphones.
Oh my God, Keith.
I know. I apologize.
Hold on, let's redo the take. Start from the top.
Cut, take two.
Go.
How you doing, Mr. Blaze?
I'm doing good, Mr. Giles. Having a wonderful night here at the office with the ladies.
Oh, what ladies exactly we talking about tonight?
Three of the finest ladies I could find. Autumn, summer, and of course winter. Tell you, winter's pretty cold. She's sitting back there with the villains right now.
Oh,
Autumn and summer. She beautiful, baby. Absolutely beautiful, baby.
I guess this is going to be a trend until we crown some a new champion here this session, huh?
Hey, maybe to the end of this session, maybe.
I mean, you guys never necessarily lose the title, right? You never lose the title as champions, so.
Who's to say I'm going to lose the title this year?
Heard that? So we got a pretty good episode in store here, Mr. Blaze. Some fantastic games to look back on from week number 1 here in the KFFL. A couple debuts and a couple shocking outcomes. What do you think? What do you think about week 1?
Let's go over week 1 real quick, Mr. Keith Giles. From the top, very beginning. Let's fire away. It was X-Dogs and the Outlaws to start the day. 32-0 X-Dogs. They made their triumphant return to that field where going into that game, believe it or not, the X-Dogs were starting to struggle a little bit on Keystone turf. You go back to the Summer Sizzler, what happened with TBT twice over. You go back and look at what happened at the Winter Chiller, TBT, and the fact they almost lost to the Killer Bees. Shocking.
Hey,
shocking. What exactly is the X-Dogs starting to fall apart? No, they are not.
No, I don't think so.
No, absolutely, positively not. The X-Dogs are stronger than before. People have been sleeping on Matt Eisenberg for several years now, and I don't understand why. Is it the age? Is it the height? What is it? Why do people keep thinking, oh, wait, Matt's all over the place these days. He's playing all over the place. Quarterback, receiver, D lineman.
Well, I don't think it's his shortness. People might think maybe his age could be a factor, but watching him play, he is an ageless wonder that I think has hidden the fountain of youth from everyone else. He's still a thrill to watch on the field. And I'll tell you right now, after the X-Dogs quarterback hurt his leg, Matt went in there. Yeah, Isaiah, I actually didn't hear an update. I hope he's all right. I hope it was nothing. Hope it was nothing serious.
You never want to see that in general, let alone this early in the season. And Isaiah, he's a great guy. He's a nice guy. He's always out there playing hard for the X-Dogs. I hope he's all right, man. I really do. Really good dude. If anybody from the Dogs has an update, please let us know on his condition. Always looking out for our fellas out there on the field, making sure they're okay. But overall, this game was just one-sided, man. 32-0. The Outlaws, I hate to say it.
Look, they had honestly the tallest order against them. A rebranding team going against the creme de la creme of Keystone. That was a tall order. Now,
Wrong. I'm not saying it's disappointing, but
it was lopsided the entire way.
I
Yes.
can tell you 100% that wasn't Matt Eisenberg's best Xbox team that's going to play this season.
It was.
That's just the early V1 form. The Outlaws, I just felt like in this game struggled, and I was getting Browns flashbacks the entire time. You go back to the first 2 to 3 drives of the game; they lost yards every single play, and I don't know whether I misheard someone say, but one of them was a case where I don't know, maybe I misheard it. I thought I heard Pat didn't have his flags on or something, and they caught a sack because of that. Maybe I'm misremembering that. That's just what one of the refs said to me. And it was a case where they backed it up literally after the Outlaws had gained several yards on the play.
Yeah.
And like if that was the case, which I was standing on the sideline far away, I didn't have the best viewpoint of it. That's just what one of the refs said to me. And the secondary, I think it was Brian who said it. If I'm wrong, let me know. Either Brian, I think it was Brian, yeah.
We had a similar incident later on in week 1 where the quarterback was missing a flag. I believe it was primetime, one of Primetime's games, and they called a penalty on that one. And so a little bit of confusion on what that actual rule is. So if any of the refs happen to be watching and want to chime in,
if we can get
maybe give us a little bit of.
If we can get our rules correspondent, Mr. Kent Page, on the line. Kent, there's the Zoom link. If you have a ruling on that, inform us all here in the 9-man community, because most of the time we see these calls, we don't know them. We don't understand them.
See, personally, for me, I was under the assumption that even if the quarterback's missing both or one of his flags, all he has to do is be touched and he's down. Like I was kind of surprised by the penalty myself. Granted, we don't really see a quarterback on the field missing a flag, so this isn't a very common rule. But yeah, a little bit of clarification would be nice to have here.
Yeah, and I would hope to get an explanation. If anybody's watching the comments, let me know. Links in there if anybody wants to jump on. Any of our rules analysts, whether it be the man who wrote the 9-man book himself, Mr. Kent Page, or whether it be Brian, maybe Keith if he's watching, Tom,
maybe Eric.
So Scunyon has chimed in. Mikey Scunyon, longtime veteran in the flag football game. Usually, if you start a play without a flag, it's illegal participation, is what he's saying, which I thought was the case after I heard it. And Kenny Wells is actually talking about the whole thing right now on the live chat. He's saying that Primetime's QB was missing his flag, and as soon as he got the snap, he was down. That's what Brian told me during the game.
And that, yeah. So all right,
I can see that. I think that's what happens to the Browns too. They gain the yards, or sorry, no, y'all still the Browns. Y'all still the Browns. Y'all still the Browns.
Oh, that was a jab there, Joey.
I call y'all Spartans, but I don't want to insult Don. More on that later in the preview.
Yeah, more on the Spartans later. Man, that's a debut.
But yeah, 32-0. X-Dogs having their way with the Outlaws. It's a tough draw either way, man. The X-Dogs, they are the team of Southern Pennsylvania for the last 20 years. And, having to play them for a first time in a while, because, I don't know how many of those guys from Outlaws were there the last time Matt and company were in the KFFL back in the spring of 2019.
Probably just a handful and a half.
Yeah. But at this point, it's just I was just disappointed, man. I do have high hopes for them. I really do. It's a long season. They pulled it together toward the end of last fall. Let's see what happens by the end of this spring. But 32-0 final there. Let's get to the second game. Keith, you got some explaining to do on this one. What happened, man? Tri-State 28, Killer Bees nothing. Don Brown got his revenge from the NEN tournament. Damian Kayson sacrificed his first victim on behalf of his redemption tour in the form of the decimation of the Bees offense in this game. Don't get me wrong. I've heard it. I know it for a fact. Not everyone was there. I know it. I've heard it. But as a team, somebody has to step up on that sideline and take some kind of control. This is how you have a team collapse before it gets off the ground. Games like this. We saw what happened with Ron and Ant on the sideline. And now you got Ron. He's riding the Spartan train. He's all about Don now. That's just starting pieces, man. You can't let that happen. I get it. I'm going to hear in the comments again. Tyler wasn't there. Laurie wasn't there.
The pieces
was there, but he wasn't there.
The pieces that weren't there, we could put that aside. You know, we know they weren't there. You guys have
too good of talent. We played that bad.
With the talent that we have, the strength that we have, there's no excuse for putting up a goose egg, especially against a team that we know we can compete with. Offensively, you know, I don't play offense. I play defense for any of you that aren't aware. The offense just could not get on a rhythm. We allowed way too many sacks. It was either a nice big play or it was nothing, and we just could not find that middle ground to get a nice, well-oiled machine running. On defense, we had a couple bright spots and we had a couple real low spots. 2 big touchdowns that were given up. Defense has been the Killer Bees' strength over our history, but there's no excuse for giving up 28 points either. We have the star power. We have the players. There's a lot of leadership on the team, and we're trying to get it figured out on. We know who our captains are, but it's still morphing together. So much like last year, we had a terrible start and ended up reeling together 6, 7 wins in a row and to get to the championship game. So we could definitely still pull this out. I have the utmost confidence in my team, our players, everybody that's there. It's just we got to morph together and get some more execution done, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
I like that. 100% honest evaluation of your own team right up there in front of a live audience. Spoken with true confidence. You know what's going on. You have the in-depth, and you did a great job there. I got to say something. You're absolutely right, bro. You're absolutely right. 100 for real. You are correct.
I appreciate you saying that, Joey. And, one thing that I wanted to do is I love my bees. Everybody that knows me knows I love my bees. And but doing this, I wanted to try and be as unbiased as possible. So I appreciate you.
You could have fooled me by that first interview last week. If you
I was having
sitting there talking about stinging their asses.
I was having some fun with my boy. I love Chad. We get carried away. It happens. But that was my.
I had to stop, man. The PDA was too much. It was too much.
I feel it. I feel you. But as far as the Spartans go, that was a hell of a debut. We came out flat against them. They came out with the high energy. Their offense was rolling. Obviously, their defense, we had no answer for. So, my first real game view of the Spartans in 9-man is, they got a hell of a squad, and we'll get to rankings a little bit towards the end of the show, but they definitely made an impact. So, Don's got himself a hell of a squad.
So we talk about the next game with the Spartans. I don't actually have the final score off the top of my head. I think it was 19-6 over the Reckless Villains in that one.
Yes.
I'm correct. Okay, so I got it right. Boom. Yeah, 19-6 Spartans over Villains. My first observation is, man, TJ, you can't find lightning twice by bringing only 10 guys and expecting to pull off another 51. Come on, Tuz. Come on,
Uh, they 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 did not play to full potential during that game. The
yeah, but to be
Spartans were
fair,
obviously on high energy at the time. You know,
I'm going to tell you something about the Spartans team. I want to get to more into later on, but this has an energy that I haven't felt in the Force in a very long time. That a lot of people in this four-state region can relate to. They understand what's coming. There's something about this Spartans team. There is something about them, man, that's very familiar, especially that defense. Anybody who's watched my streams the last 4 years knows what I'm talking about. But we'll get to that later. But honestly, the villains played their asses off, in my opinion, for what they had. They only had about 11 guys. Despite having Chris Tivis on the field, they still had a lot to overcome, man. When you have Tivis and TJ, that's pretty big. You have Eric Jones out there balling. Cannon was coming out ready to play. You take a look at what this team is doing. There's a lot of things that's a lot of question about the villains. Because, you look at the roster, TJ just kind of improvised it last season as the year went on, hence why you got towards the end of the season and not as many guys were able to make the playoffs as it was before. They ended up with 13 and almost beat the Bees in that semifinal. I got to tell you, if there's a team that I got a lot of respect for, it's the Reckless Villains. They come out there every week and they work their asses off. TJ is going to build something better. And I'm going to tell you something. You all think that this is it? Ooh, you are sorely underestimating what's to come. It's going to be an interesting season. Let's just put it like that, Keith. But you look at the second game with the Villains, 34-27 over primetime.
man,
what a shootout, bro.
Look, I was rewatching the games last night, kind of prepping for today. And I got to that game, and there's a little bit of, skipping through, but I rewatched 85% of that game. It was so much fun to call and so much fun to watch. The back and forth battle was epic. That's why we play the game, and that's why we like to call the game.
Mm-hmm.
That was a wonderful showdown.
Dude, that game was absolutely fantastic from start to finish. Defense, a bit of a premium. It was kind of funny in the comments. You go back and you look at the chat section. During that game, Greg Murray, I believe his name is, over at the YAFFL Hanover. He's on Wolverines. He's a quarterback. He made a spot appearance on primetime back at Four State Fours. He pretty much straight up said TJ was trash.
I saw
TJ proceeded to trash that Hanover defense like it was nothing. That's the thing about it, bro. You can't sleep on TJ Williams. He will make you pay if you underestimate him. And some of those guys they brought out there, I got to give primetime credit. They seem like they're not going the YAFFL All-Star route, it seemed to be. They're bringing in a lot of guys who I don't remember seeing much of in nine-man outside of the beast Howard Holton, man. Whew, a lot to say about Howard, bro. What a freaking boss on the field. That dude could just straight up ball. I go back to what happened back in January during Four State Fours when he just sat there, got out of bed, and went straight to the primetime game and just destroyed the Bees on the fairgrounds. And then you take a look at what he did against TBT during Summer Sizzler a couple years ago. Howard Holton came in as a D-end, and he was giving Chris Boone all kinds of fits in that game. And the only reason why they didn't win was because of the fact they didn't have an offense in that game. And for us, though, Howard kept us at the lowest offensive total we had in that tournament during that game at 17 points with his pass rushing and versatility. And then you look at what the work he did for Gusto Land against Misfits in the Winter Chiller a couple of years ago on the same field. This man is all over the place. He went out, he played that game. He had 3 touchdowns on the day. And you know what he did after he played the Villains and beat Venom in the next one? He went over across the street, maybe about 5 feet away. He suited up, 8-man, semi-pro for the Cumberland Valley Hitmen on the field. That dude just throws them balls. Like, you got to admire that kind of fucking.
That's awesome.
Sorry for the language, but you got to admire that kind of intensity and strength, man. Like, dude,
dedication too.
Yeah.
Dedication. That's
if you got him on your team, you're in every single game. And he lit up that dude pretty hard at the Hanover tournament a few weeks ago. I don't have the footage of it. I think somebody does have sideline footage of it. He just absolutely wrecked that dude. Howard's a beast, man. That's one of those guys that you don't want to go against.
You want to talk about wrecking. There's only one person we could talk about wrecking when we look back at last week.
On terms of what?
And that is in the next game of Primetime versus Venom with ours truly, Pat Freedom. What a play. Back-to-back plays. My bad. That was amazing. And I just want to give a shout out to Pat. You know, he's a baller. I love that guy. Helped me with a lot of stuff. You know, when I first came into Flag, a lot of respect for him. And man, he was balling. And really, Venom was balling to a certain extent anyway. You know, I know for me, this was the surprise game of the week. After just watching Primetime beat the Villains, I really thought
reverse that. Villains beat Primetime.
Villains beat Primetime. I'm sorry. After Villains beating Primetime, that, you know, Primetime still showed up in that game. So I figured they were gonna handle their business against Venom. But they had no stop for that Venom D line. They just kept getting back there and sack and Venom definitely impressed me.
I think the name of the lineman that Pat was bullying was Nate Barrick, number 91, plays for the Wolverines over in Hanover. Let me tell you, like, I've been reading, everybody's saying he's a D lineman. It's man, you can't get pushed around like that the way he was. Like, I know a lot of guys who are D linemen who play O line too, and they don't get manhandled like that. I think he'll do fine. I mean, I think it's probably his first 9-man game playing on the O line. That physicality hits differently when you're not used to it.
Yeah, and Pat always comes with the physical play. So,
and Pat's deceiving too. You look at Pat; he's very small. That dude is maybe about 140, and about 120 of that is muscle. I saw his arms walking up to him, man. He's been hitting the gym. Like, he is in shape right now. And he told me if he's going to travel in Ocean City, he's looking forward to it. And I'd love to see him out there on that field. I'd love to see Pat on the circuit because I think that would step his game up in a big way.
Absolutely. I just needed to give Pat a shout out there. But overall, the Primetime and Venom game, that one had me losing my voice. That game was probably the best game of the day.
That was an emotional game, man.
Emotional game. I know you took that one close to the heart. You were real pleased. So why don't you tell us about your opinion on Venom and their debut?
Man, I'm kind of like a proud dad here almost. I ain't gonna lie. You know, Johnny and Brandon, they came up through Survivors many years ago, brought in through Daniel. Daniel brought them into the league back then with us, and they were about both 19, 20 years old. They were like young kids, man. They were out there happy to play. I remember the first time we had Brandon out there catching passes. That dude was just balling out. He put up 6 touchdowns in his rookie season in county. He was burning guys. That offense we had with him, Ethan French, Brandon Michael, and Joey Morales was just insane at that time. And that 3-piece offense was just very effective. And then I remember Johnny Cocho coming in with the Ducks, the Mighty Ducks, back in the second season of him playing. And one of the highlights he had was that game against Survivors, which we'll highlight later in the season when we talk about that in a few weeks. 3 interceptions in that game, 2 of which returned for touchdowns, including the game winner. Johnny was just absolutely – he just knew how to read Daniel the entire time and took it to the house. That game stood out to me because both of those kids were balling. They both put up 2 touchdowns each. Brandon on Survivors, Johnny on Ducks. And now to see them and what they're doing right now with this Venom team they've helped put together, they've done a great job. And you look at some of the pieces. You get Kenny Wells to come over. Last year, Kenny Wells and the Green Machine was not exactly friends, to say the least. But now Kenny comes over with those guys, and he was doing work on Saturday. Kenny is deceiving coming out of there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Kenny. He can catch you off guard. He can hit you. He has some speed for a bigger guy, and he's got good hands. And he can block. He can rush. He can really do whatever you need on the field. And I think he is one of the underrated players in the league that might not necessarily be known about throughout the league.
And, you take a look at it, like Kenny, I felt like played the best game I ever seen him play. Like he reminded me a lot of Tyler Bucklew, a player we had many years ago on Survivors, in the way he was catching the ball and moving. And, I see a lot of potential with Kenny out there playing. I got to give him a lot of credit, but we got to talk Pat Freedom, man. Pat Freedom, what a son. How did the Browns let that man get out of their camp?
Oh,
Patrick, you let Pat Freedom go, man. Hey, I got to tell you, you look at the guys on that team, Brandon, Johnny, Pat, and even Cash Curry DeMar. He comes in. He's playing D-Ed now. Cash was getting in work.
He had a couple sacks, I believe.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you, those Cramley members, the Cramley playing their butts off over the weekend between those 4. Got to give a lot of props to them. Lucas Hall in his debut as a 9-man quarterback. He went out there. He balled out. Give him time to develop. He could definitely bring a lot to the table.
Yeah, we're going to get Lucas on the show here one of these weeks. He's become I enjoy talking with him, and he impressed me with that game. A game where he made a lot of plays with his feet. He also made a lot of good throws. He impressed the heck out of me. So good job on Lucas there and trying to get his team to victory there. Unfortunately, that 2-point conversion at the end of the game for the win had a lot of drama with it between the tackle beforehand, which gave him half the distance to the goal. And then I know we had talked before about I personally did not like the formation they had set up for that 2-point conversion, but they were one play away from pulling off a huge upset.
They had a chance, though, after that play. There was a penalty asserted, 2 penalties for the F-bomb and the N-bomb coming out by prime time afterwards, which mental error. They're used to playing in other leagues where it's okay to say that. Up here, it's a little different. Got to be acclimated to what the park wants and all that. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And, I give props to Johnny in the sense of believing in his defense on a 1st and 25 scenario in order to win the game at the end. But I disagree with the idea of not going with the onside kick. I'm going to tell him what I told Don Brown and County back in 2019. Chris Boone and I echoed this sentiment. We said it before. We'll say it again. Kick the damn ball. I get it. You don't have a kicker. But
you don't need a kicker to kick it 25 yards.
You just need someone to kick. And I get it. Heat of the moment. First time he's been in this situation as a coach. It happens. Sometimes he made the argument. He didn't have a kicker or a tee. But there's other ways. It happens, though. It doesn't take away anything from what they did that day. It's a learning experience.
Yeah.
But you always, and this is my advice to every single team, always take the chance Because if you don't take the chance, you're going to regret later because of the fact that you didn't give yourself a chance at the end.
See, I look at it as
the ball would have, if anything, would have been about at the 50. At that point, you only need it to go 49 to 29 yards. And, it's that's the thing. Like, sometimes you don't know, so you got to try something. I go back to fall of 17 in Washington County. Warriors took on Ruckus, and it was 26-24, final moments of the game. And the Warriors were told about the onside kick. They went ahead and said, all right, we'll try it. So they put Brock Klein out there. And anybody who knows Brock Klein, you look at Brock, he's a big guy, he's a shorter guy. He's not somebody you would think is a kicker looking at him. But we learned that day, as Ross always says, that Brock could kick. Brock kicked it all the way to the 15. And that game was very controversial because the Ruckus returner signaled, I think it was Joe Cassiolo, signaled a fair catch as the ball was coming to him, which by rule should have blown it dead. But you think about it, a bobble, it can happen. The ball could bounce a certain way. Take the chance. Kick the damn ball.
Yeah,
I told Don about it. Don had the same reasoning. Don said, well, we don't have a kicker. Don, just do it.
Yeah, because you're giving the other team the opportunity to win the game instead of giving yourself the opportunity to win the game. That's how I look at it.
Boom. Nailed it. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
It's first game, man. It's inexperience. It happens.
Yep. And honestly, that's the perfect time to try one of these experiments. As you were saying, it's week one. It's better to find out if you have an onside kick ability in week one than it is first game of the playoffs. So
exactly. And
so if you come across that situation again, I'd do it. Give it a try.
Take the chance, man, because you never know how many wins you're going to get in the season. And every game that you don't win is another game you lose.
Absolutely.
And so that's the end of the recap. We got a guest coming on the line. The waiting room says his name is iPhone. iPhone. That's his name or her name. I'm not sure which.
I'm going to presume it's a he. I don't think we have any females in the league.
Let me tell you, all the ladies love Joey Blaze, whether it's
son of a
winter.
I walked into that one.
I'm trying to win me a spring one too.
All right, it looks like we're
on. Where is? Oh, here he is. Welcome to the show. The guy who was drafted number 1 overall in the YAFFL draft, which drew one of my favorite sponsors. The guy asked, who the hell is Jason Brady? Well, this is Jason Brady.
How's it going, Joey? What's up, Keith?
How you doing?
How you doing, guys?
Doing great, sir. How are you tonight?
I'm hanging in.
Feeling that, man. Feeling that. So Brady back on the field in Keystone. First time in a while that you've been on that field to play. How did it feel to get back to Shippensburg, where you, sir, attended college at a few years ago back in the day?
Yeah, it felt great. I guess first time since 2019 when we played there. I played more than a few years ago at Ship. In 2014, I graduated. But, it felt great to be back out there. Felt great to play with the guys. Felt good watching the games afterwards. I stayed after and watched just because I was excited to see the competition that I haven't seen before in that league. So it was all good.
What is your thoughts on the current competition in the KFFL, Brady? This is very much a different league than the one you guys joined back in 2018.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I think anyone would say that competition brings out the best in everybody. And, going back to 2018 when it was the first KFFL season, you don't want to, I don't want to sound like a dick here, but I think, there were some games that competition may have been a little too easy. For some team, you weren't getting any better. You look at the teams now; these are some damn good teams playing. You got some studs on every team, and I love where this league's going.
Yeah. One of those teams that you played back in that spring of 2018 was a team called the Spartans, not the Don Brown Spartans, the Tom Matthews Spartans. That core has eventually evolved into what is the Outlaws currently. What is your thought on that core and what that team has become in the years since?
I like it a lot, actually. We played them Saturday. Obviously, we won, but all that means was we were the better team that day. We play them again in 2 weeks, and it could be anybody's game. I think they got a really good core group of guys. I actually know Grant Smith from college, was a good buddy of mine in college. Good dude, hardworking dude. I know he's going to have his guys ready to play every single week. Love their intensity the entire way through.
Looking at the other team who was there back when you first started in 2018, the Killer Bees. Your impressions on where the Bees are right now after this past weekend's game with Spartans?
Bees took one on the chin to the Spartans, but I think the Bees are as good as they've ever been. Honestly, I think they got some studs on the team. I know Moats. I know Sanchez. I think Ant played a good game. I think the Bees are damn good. And I'm just not saying that because this is Keith's show, but I think I don't think the Bees have much to worry about. I think the Bees are going to be okay.
Time will tell. Long season ahead here in the KFFL. So looking ahead this week, you guys have Venom at about 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. Did you get a chance to check out Venom yet?
I have not yet. I watched a little bit of it when it was live, but I haven't got a chance to watch it in its entirety like I'd like to. But I'm going to before we play them on Saturday. But I know they had a good game against Primetime, and Primetime's a pretty good team from what I see. So.
Yeah, do not sleep on Venom. Obviously, you guys have the top tier talent and top team chemistry. But, I think Primetime, part of their problem was they underestimated them just by looking at them. And that almost cost them the game, in my opinion. So
you can't sleep on those West Virginia guys, man. You just can't. Like, people think that area isn't anything in flag football are seriously underestimating how much talent is coming from that state right now into Keystone and other leagues in the area. There is just so much talent, and I think people just don't think about it when they hear it. They just hear the name West Virginia Venom, and that just sounds like some random rec league team that was put together. But these guys are experienced ballers. You look at how long Johnny and Brandon have been in flag. You take a look at how long Pat Freedom's been in the game. You got younger guys like Kenny Wells coming in, Lucas Hall looking like he's trying to make his own legacy out there. You can't sleep on a team like that. You just can't. But I do feel like they are in for a tough matchup with the X-Dogs this week.
I mean, going into it, it's just we like to think that when we go in, everyone's going to have a tough day against us. Obviously, there's games we lose, there's games we win, but anytime we go in, we give it our all. We just want to make sure that when we leave, that the team that we played knew we were there, regardless of what the outcome was.
I appreciate that outlook. While we have you on here, I was hoping for maybe some sort of a medical update from Isaiah. Is his leg all right?
Yeah, to be honest with you, at first it looked pretty ugly, especially when when he was laying down and we had to get him up. But then we saw him putting weight on it and then walking off. I don't know how Isaiah is going to be for this week, but originally I don't think it was as bad as we thought it was. So kind of a wishy-washy answer I just gave you, but case in point, I think he is going to be okay. Wasn't as bad as we thought.
If he doesn't play this week, is Matt your quarterback?
My answer is yes, but to be honest with you, when I showed up on Saturday and Isaiah was quarterback, I didn't know that was happening. So Matt might have something else up his sleeve. I don't know.
Heard that.
You never know about Matt, man. He could play any position, I feel like, at this point.
That's the thing. He was a receiver in college. I don't know how many people know that.
Oh, trust me. I have about 15 minutes of highlights to prove that. Yeah. And you got to think, man, Matt's been around for 20 years now in this game. And he knows the ins and outs of it, like of how 9-man is played. He's one of those guys who they've been around for a while. You know, we talked about it in the OMFFL show last night. Those guys who are in their 40s who are still playing at a high level, or even 50s, whether it be a Doc over at the Maryland Titans, or Chris Boone, or even a Greg Proctor with the Scorpions. And then you have Matt Eisenberg, who a lot of people, they don't get much of a look at him because of the fact that the X-Dogs don't tour the country like other teams do. But they have a real opportunity. I'm looking forward to seeing the X-Dogs in Ocean City in a few weeks. It's about time, man. It's been too long since we saw you guys travel. And I had said that 2019 squad you had on the field was second to only ADR in this area on terms of how good it was. And I'm really excited to see just where this team measures up in a few weeks. But for now, you got Venom coming up. I think that's going to be an awesome game. It should be a good physical game. I think the biggest difference is going to be size in the trenches, because UX Dogs come with the heavy hitters.
That is not a primetime offensive line. Let's just get that straight.
And it's not a primetime D line either. Like, you take a look at the size and physicality of the X Dogs. This team definitely is a trench monster of a team. But anyways, anything else you want to add tonight, Brady?
Nah, just great show. Love watching you guys.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate you and watching you on the field.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you for coming on. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me on, fellas.
No problem. Good to talk to Mr. Jason Brady. First time he's appeared on any of our programming, actually. And believe it or not, that's actually the second time we've ever had an X-Dogs player on any of my live shows. So
yeah, I'm happy to have him on.
I'm glad we had a chance to speak to the Soviet Union tonight. A good different representative. That silver curtain is like very, very hard to see through. But, you know, you got to give a lot of credit to how Matt Eisenberg runs that organization. They do it the old-fashioned way. They do it the honest way. They do it the best way. And you got to think 20 years now, and that old dog is still learning some new tricks.
He's always learning, always adapting, and always surprising. So I love what he does, what he's done with that team.
I 100% agree, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what goes on with the X-Dogs in this upcoming 2021 spring season, whether it be here in Keystone, because there's still some really good matches that can happen with them, like the potential of them and Spartans. We saw that matchup last season in Washington County. I think it's going to be a bigger deal when they play each other again soon. You have the potential of them against the Reckless Villains. You know, I think Prime Time is gonna. I think Prime Time is gonna call in some reinforcements. They only had about 20 guys on that sideline. There's still about 15 spots to burn for them that could be used on anybody. Because remember, my philosophy when it comes to this game, NYTBT went 17-5 with 10 shutout wins and 4 championships. If their team is not in the tournament, they're a free agent. Everybody is a free agent. Right? Summer, autumn, and winter.
Oh my God, we need a new champion. No, but I think any of the X-Dog games against the Spartans, Villains, Primetime, Bees, I think those are going to have the ability to be some of the funnest matchups to watch this year. And yes, I said funnest. So, because they're always going to have high intensity. So I'm ready to watch some of those matchups and play in those matchups.
I'm ready for the matchups too throughout the season. Like I said, this X-Dogs team, they always bring it. We've seen that firsthand down here in Hagerstown for many years. We've seen it on the circuit. You know, they are the only team in Keystone who has a circuit championship. They had Ocean City, they have Hagerstown, they've won them both. It's been a while. 2015 was the last time the X-Dogs won a circuit tournament. That was when they went to Hagerstown and won that season. They merged with the Nighthawks, I recall. They came together for that one, and I look forward to seeing what they bring to Hagerstown. Glad to hear from Brady tonight. Big shout out to the X-Dogs organization, man. A lot of praise, a lot of props, and looking forward to seeing what they can do this Saturday when they take on the Venom, West Virginia Venom. Let's transition real quick to the power rankings. Nobody has chimed in yet for a call-in, so we're going to keep going.
Power rankings after 1 week.
Yeah.
All
man.
right. Where are we looking at for number 7 here, Joey? Go ahead and get us started off here. Number 7.
I'm going to start out number 7 on my end. I got Outlaws, man.
I concur with that assessment. The way Venom was able to perform against Primetime, that gave them the jump. I believe last week I had Outlaws at 6, so I had them flip-flop there. Leading it, segueing into my number 6 pick was Venom. Good showing. However, just lost it at the end. Definitely bright things to come.
My number 6 is also going to be Venom. They played just well enough to be in the game, just not well enough to win the game. They're not that far away, though. They're really not from the middle of the pack in this league. I don't know how they're going to compete against the upper teams. They got some stiff competition in that upper half of this league when you look at the X-Dogs and the Spartans and the Villains as well. And, of course, Killer Bees, they're still no slouch. We don't know how they're going to be week to week. We'll see. Prime time, they already proved they can hang with them. But I don't think they're going to see Prime time in the playoffs, honestly. We'll see how that goes. But right now, I got them at number 6. They showed they can play. This is not the Green Machine team from last season.
Absolutely not.
Like, this is a way better squad, a well more rounded squad. And I think losing that game, while it does stink for them, I think is what they needed. Because they now know they can play. They can only go up from there. They're not coming in overly confident in week 2. Because sometimes you have that reality check game after the first week. I go back to that spring 2015 with Survivors. We came out in week 1 and we beat the Nighthawks. And the Nighthawks were a team that was full of a lot of talent and a lot of experienced flag football players that had been there for a while. And we had beaten them in that first week 10-6. And we were elated. We were elevated. We got that first win. It was our 12th game, and we thought to ourselves, we can compete and win this league. And we came out with the swag and the arrogance and the confidence the next week against the Red Knights. And I remember we played the Red Knights very tough. And this was back when the Red Knights were one of the better teams in the 4-state, one of the best teams in the 4-state. We played them very well. It was only 7-0 toward the end of the second. And then after that, Andy Hoffman picked us apart. Mikey Scunyon had no problem getting open. John Regan even torched us a little bit. And we collapsed after that. We never won a game the rest of the season. But I feel like with this Venom team, by taking that L, they get a lesson. That L ain't for a loss. It's a lesson. and you can only grow if you learn your lessons.
I think you nailed it there. Don't look at the L as a loss. Look at it as a lesson. Definitely pay off in the long run.
Yep, and we'll see how that team grows from there.
And I believe it is your number 5 pick then, Mr. Blaze.
My number 5 on this countdown, I'm going to go with the Killer Bees. They're still a number 5 in my eyes. That's, again, I go back to what I said earlier in the show. I understand you're missing pieces. You're missing guys who are leaders. I'm not going to downplay the leadership of any of those men. Those men can lead out there on the field. And without them, that is a big loss. But there's no excuse of all this talent you have on the team to get beat the way you did. There just isn't. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's Damian Kason. It's Dame. I completely understand what his defenses can do to opposing offenses. But just for all the arguing, all the tension, it's not a good look. And I do believe you guys have a chance to bounce back when those pieces come back. But what happens if you don't have them at some other point in the season? Are we going to see the same issue? Somebody has to lead.
I think the leadership will be figured out. The people's voices that we will be listening to will be narrowed down. I have all the faith in the world. My bees are going to bring it back. Unfortunately, and my chats might end up blowing up here, but I ended up having to put my bees at number 5 also.
Half of the chat's going to be like, fuck Joey. And
the other half will be fuck Keith.
And I'm going to respond with the usual responses.
No, that's not how we like to appear on the field. That's not how we like to appear off the field. And, there will be changes. I think certain positions are going to be altered without saying too much because, secrecy. But things will change and things will get better as the season progresses. And like I said, we started off bad last year. We will work our way up the power rankings here again, even though, I'm the one that writes it. I can put them wherever I want. But, they will earn their way back up the power rankings within due time. I have no doubt about that.
All in good time. I got a lot of love for some of the Bees players. T. Spence is my boy. Him and I started the TBT Empire in the beginning. You go back and you take a look also at guys like Polo, Carlos Sanchez, Sean Moats. You take a look at James Cooper. You have Kaja Cooper, Malcolm Gaskins. A lot of talent on that team. I think you're going to see. And then Chad Claggett as well. You take also a look at Lurie. A lot of talent. And I'm hearing there's a champion on his way to that team to lead the way. And as we saw before in the KFFL, what way Tay can go.
And we go the way Tay go. No, it's going to, unfortunately, I will not be there this week. I was going to wait until the ending. But I will not be there this week due to my own pool tournament that I am in.
And I will let you all know at this time that I was not supposed to be there this week, but due to the fact that I'm being charged to live stream inside of a stadium, I'm going to up to stay home and hang out with my guys because at the end of the day, Shippensburg is home when it comes to the 4th state this football season. And, of course, all love to the OMFFL as well. And, of course, that league where the Warriors are going to win the championship this season.
Yeah, so I appreciate you taking over this weekend, Joey. Means a lot. But I think
live sunrise to sunset. I might be tired. I might need someone to cover for me while I'm taking a small break. If anybody feels like it, let me know. I'll be
Robert.
there. No, we need to get a Rocho's debut.
Yeah.
Rocho.
Yeah, Robert, I'm sure you're probably watching right now, so you can be Joey's left-hand man this weekend.
Perfect. We can teach a Rocho how to be a live streamer.
Heard
Just
that.
wait till next nationals. You're going to have a
Bring him
Rocho on the live, calling
him
the
on.
Misfits championship game as Nick Rowland walks on in a caveman outfit, as he says.
So
That was one of my favorite Rocho lines from that game when he described rolling like a caveman. That was great.
we love Robert.
Made me laugh a lot. I love Robert. He's my boy. Shout out to Rocho. Rocho needs to be playing in Ocean City though.
How about no?
I think you guys need to make a Rocho your Tivis. Make him Tivis for the team. Because if you have him play the Tivis position and he's just as good as Tivis, he can win a championship for you. But if he's not there, it's different.
I don't think he's there. I love Robert, but yeah.
Want to also at this moment, man. Speaking of killer bees, we're gonna finish here in a second from them. Glad to hear that Tyler and Lurie are both recovering at this time. Both of them caught COVID back over in Baltimore a few weeks ago. Thankfully, no one else I can think of tested positive. If someone did, let me know. I didn't see anybody post about it. Glad to read both of them are recovering and starting to do well. Hoping to see them both out there ASAP. All love, fellas.
Yes, much love. Stay well, get well, and we need you out there on that field, Tyler, Larry. We need you out there, guys. So get well and get back.
They really, really need you out there, though.
We really want you out there. We want you out there. So, all right. So the power rankings here. I believe you are up for number 4 then, Joey.
Number 4 on the list, I'm going to go with Prime Time right now. It's tough, man. They were dangerously close to sitting at 6 in my head for just how they came out. That defense is non-existent. Like
no.
TJ with only 10 guys and Tivis playing slot receiver destroyed them with no problem whatsoever. Eric Jones went out there and he just was a boss the whole time. They absolutely dominated in that game. And, I go back, man. Greg Murray, you got to watch your mouth. You can't talk on Tuz like that and expect to get away with it.
He will make you eat your words.
That's just what TJ does. The more you talk negative on him, the more he's going to want to go out there and just destroy you. And if you've never played TJ Williams before, you are in for a big struggle. Let me tell you, I've been there myself.
Not an easy man to get a sack on. Let me tell you that. I've personally tried plenty of times. I might have 1 or 2 on him, but he's got a whole lot more evades than I got flag pulls.
He's shifty, man. He's shifty. Just like Jaya Mia says, he's phony. It's a classic line. Good times. Throwback, Hagerstown Tournament 2016. Next topic, let's roll on. What's your number 4?
My number 4, I had Prime Time with you. I'm right there hand in hand with you here so far, buddy. I see why they earned their name. Let me tell you that. Both the 2 best games from the weekend was both primetime games. For better or for worse, primetimes were the games of the week. However, their win was just a little bit lackluster. They should have blown them out, and that's why I don't have them higher on that list.
There was no defense, dude. And if you're getting destroyed that badly with a team of only 11 guys in which half of them are linemen, there's problems. And don't get me wrong. I think what Ryan and company is trying to do is introduce 9-man to a lot of guys because there was some talent I'd seen before. There was some talent I wasn't sure who was before. We'll see what they got, man. Like I said, it's so early with them. Like I wouldn't be shocked if I see some more YAFFL talent come out there in week 2.
They have plenty of roster room.
That's the thing, and there's plenty of talent in the York Hanover area. John Urey told me there was 1,000 players registered in the YAFFL. And when you have a talent pool, 1,000 to pull from, you have plenty of options. And we've seen a lot of talent come out of that York area.
And you only have to play in 3 games, so they could be starting us off with little secrecy and waiting to hit us later in the season. So I don't know. We'll see. It's like you said, still a lot to learn, but their offense was rolling. So I liked watching their offense play.
It's like what Damian Kason says. This ain't checkers. It's chess. Time will tell. Going on now, we got somebody in the weight room. Who is?
We'll save the top 3 for later in the show.
3. We got iPhone back.
iPhone.
Is it Jason Brady once again back to hit us up? Because he got more to say. Who we got on there?
No.
It's the man himself. Let him on. Let him talk. The architect behind one of the most dominant defenses in the 4-state history. The man who brings the adrenaline out there. And when that defense lines up, it's a rush to watch. Welcome to the show, Damn Dame himself, Damian Kason.
What's up, Joey? What's up, Keith?
Hey, thanks for coming on here tonight, bro.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the show tonight, Dame. Well, Dame, first official 9-man game in a while. How did it feel to get back out there on the field?
Man, it felt good. I don't care where it was, who it was against. I was waiting for that. It's been a long 16-some months since I've played a meaningful 9-man game. So it's been a minute. So definitely couldn't wait for that. All week, I was like, yep, let's get it. The fact that it was going to be a tough team like the Bees and then the Villains. I mean, to me, I see y'all doing y'all's power rankings and stuff, and I agree with most of it, but Bees can't be number 5. I mean, we did put a donut up on them, but as far as coming down to it, like, that's too much talent. They're going to get it together. Like, they have no other choice.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. They got the talent. It's just when you got that much talent, you yourself, Dane, have to agree. You can't get blown out like that.
Yeah, nah, like, you right. Like, and the thing that gets me is, like, yes, they were missing some leadership, but they still had some guys that are leaders that was on that sideline. So, like, it's still no excuse. Like, don't get me wrong. The Spartans, like, I know you say I bring the adrenaline and y'all right. Like, I'm always going to be hyped. But the fact you can mix that with the energy that them young boys have on the Spartans, that's what, like, it's a dangerous combination. The fact that we could bring Cortez over and SP, Sean Parker, to go along with the defense because you got to think about it, like, Spartans had a good defense last year in Washington County. Now you had me, you had the guys I brought with me, you had the AJs up front, you had the Cortez and the Sean and the back, like, in the secondary. We was missing Cato, and then on top of that, we was missing one of the best pass rushers in the DMV. I ain't gonna throw a name out there, but
I think I know who you're talking about.
A little hint. But the defense, like, when you have dogs like that, and, like, I can point some stuff out, and you guys see, like, the Cortezes and the Shawns, they already see things in the secondary. Plus, you got dogs that's already been with the Spartans. So it's easy when you got pieces like that, just like I had when I was running ADR. Like, it's real easy to do what you want on defense and dominate. We play two totally different defenses against two opponents. So the fact you can do that and still only give up 6 points, like, that just shows what kind of defense we're gonna bring. And the fact we was missing some dogs up front and in the secondary. Yeah, that's as much credit as like I appreciate you giving me. Shit, the Spartans got some dogs. I'm telling y'all, like
I
them
believe
boys, them boys don't know how to act when they get out of Martinsburg. I'm telling you, them young boys, they don't know how to act. You put them on a football field, they're gonna show off. So you know what I mean? We got something brewing over there. We definitely we happy, but we not content. Like looking back at it, like Keenan was putting some of them balls on a dot, man. And I seen Keenan play for like I brought Keenan on one of my 8-man teams with Jazz, like to be honest, probably like 5 years ago. Huh?
Jazz Harrison.
Yes. So because I played ball with Jazz like 6-7 years ago out in Winchester. But I brought Keenan out there. So I've known Keenan for a little while, man. And I'm telling you right now, that boy, he balling. Like he was putting some shifts on the dot. And what I mean is we can get better. Like our receivers was dropping passes they usually don't drop. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. We probably should have scored 30 plus points in both games. The way the offensive line was giving him time, the way he was putting the ball on the money. So we can get better because they already made some big time plays. Y'all seen the athletes we got. So we just fine tuned some things. We was missing some flag pulls on defense. We had some mental mistakes that luckily we were able to buckle down in the red zone and hold people out the end zone. But we didn't play perfect at all. So that's what also gets me excited about this team is like we went out there against two of the top three teams, if you personally ask me, in the league between the Villains and the Bees. I think they in the top 3 or 4. And to go out there and do what we did in 8 quarters, I mean, I can't be any more happy about that.
You guys definitely had one hell of a debut in the KFFL. You're absolutely right about the Bees with the star power, and that's one reason why I personally have them at 5. I know I expect so much more out of the guys that we have on that team. Hopefully this gives them that little bit more motivation to come back here this week against primetime. But you guys definitely came and showed what you were made of, and this was the first time I really got to watch you guys in 9-man. Outside, all I really had to watch was the 5-man tournament. But it was impressive to watch you guys, and you're definitely going to be a team to reckon with here this year.
I appreciate that, man. Respect. And like I said, just looking out there when I was on the field at some of the talent y'all had on that B side, man, even with the dogs y'all had there, I know y'all gonna get it together. And then you add Tay, Larry, and Tyler. We're gonna see y'all again. See y'all again.
Those are 3 big pieces. Everybody knows it. I have all the faith in my Bees. We're going to climb up this power rankings ladder, and we're definitely going to be there whenever push comes to shove. So we'll definitely see you again. You take this W, you enjoy it. You enjoy your time. Take the opportunity, rub it in as much as you want. Not you, your team. The uncut page was awfully chatty, and you guys had your reasons and the privilege to do it. But when it comes time down to it, we're gonna be there, and we're gonna be relentless. So
yeah, we'll see. Like I said, we'll see you again. Yeah, I don't think we see y'all on our schedule in the regular season, but I'm banking on it. We're gonna see y'all again.
Oh, we'll see you again. Absolutely. Appreciate you.
I wanted to ask him real quick about this week's opponents. Outlaws to kick it off 9:15. Did you get a chance to check out the Outlaws at all, Dame?
So I got to see a little bit of the game when I got there. I think I made it by like midway through the third, so I got to see most of the fourth quarter. I'm gonna be not trying to be disrespectful.
It's an honest show, my man.
I'm working on myself. I'm working on myself.
You gotta, bro. You know what my philosophy is on my.
We gonna bust they ass. Like, excuse me.
Dang.
Nah.
Not going to be a dip, but we're going to bust your ass.
Me better than trying to sting their ass.
Oh, come on now. Yeah. Come on now. You leave my boy Chad out of this. All right. All right. He's not here to back himself up.
Nah, but that was wild. That's definitely that was wild. But nah, they look like a solid, like they're gonna put up a fight. Obviously, they're not gonna give up. I don't expect that. We gonna have to come out and bring the same energy. With that being said, but we not overlooking anybody. We out here every time to get better. Offense is out there to work on their game and get ready for Ocean City. Defense is ready to do the same thing. Bring the energy. Joey, personally, I don't really look at certain teams. I look at goals and objectives. I want to have the best scoring defense this KFFL league's ever seen. I don't want to give up another point. That's my goal every year. I don't want touchdowns. I don't like them. My goal is to go into every game and not let anybody see the end zone. The fact that the villains saw that, and it hurt me. Like, I want donuts every time, or you can go ahead and kick a field goal. That's what you're getting. But touchdowns, I don't like them. So that's our goal every game. So that's going to be the goal. There's going to be no let-ups no matter who we play.
Actually, Dame.
Yeah, I don't think you can't beat the record. Unfortunately, you guys didn't do good enough in week one.
You guys have to surrender 0.72 points per game to have the record at the very least. 0.72727272.
How many games
72727273.
Who did that? X Dogs or
X Dogs in the very first season only allowed 8 points in 11 games.
That's not fair. That first season.
I'm pretty sure it was only 6. I'm pretty sure it was only 6, Joey. I think they only gave up 6 points.
It's less than that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure anybody in the comments there that might know, if I was a betting man, which I am, I believe the record is 6.
I think, yeah, so that'd be 0.5454545454545455.
All right. Well, yeah, that's damn.
That's a goal for next year, my man.
So far, the Spartans are averaging 3 points per game surrendered.
How many games we got in this season? 8.
I think there's 7. I think there's 7 more games left.
Yeah, I think we got 8. Is what I want to say.
Or we have 8 or 9 games, and we don't give up another point.
There's a tie.
Nah. But nah, that's wild. The fact that X Dogs did that, I'm not going to speak about the competition they did that against. I'd like to say that the competition this year is a lot stronger than KFFL had the first year or
telling me that Shippensburg Medical Squad or whatever they were called can compete in today's KFFL?
Yeah, nah. It's definitely came a long way. I can tell you that by watching a lot of the games. I sat in the parking lot, chilled, watched some games. So definitely see that the KFFL has definitely gotten a lot better from first couple years they were in the league.
I 100% agree. This is the best KFFL season I think that they're going to have. Because you take a look at it, like spring is always good for KFFL. In 2019, we had about 6 teams up here. That was the season with X Dogs. Who can forget the Immortals as well that season?
Yeah.
Zach Ruby basically doing a Madden fantasy draft team and just bringing in anybody. I still remember the story where they recruited Sean Motes based on the fact that he looked like a big guy to play line, and that was it. They knew nothing about him going in. And with that came a team that got to the championship. But this KFFL is better than the one that we won, and it's better than the one the Misfits won by a mile. This is the best you're going to get because all of the established talent from this area is playing in Keystone this season. And you look at who's
And
coming in.
they're
You got
spread out too.
Yeah. And that's what makes this league very interesting because you got to think there's no other Saturday league in the area in the spring, period. And with that being said, I always say it until they're on a roster, everybody is a free agent.
You're right. Like, that's the thing. Like, it was crazy because, don't get me wrong, AJ's my boy. AJ was at my house for the Super Bowl party. He comes over for cookouts all the time. AJ's my guy. But I didn't even go out and recruit AJ. I honestly thought AJ was already on the team. AJ hit Don up. Like, he realized, like, he knew we was all playing with the Spartans. AJ hit Don up like an hour before, like, or 2 hours before the game. I was like, hey, you got a spot? Who the hell gonna say no to AJ? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a D lineman if need be. If like everything hit the fan, he can even go in at center and get the job done. Like, who gonna say, you know what I mean? So the fact that some of these pieces just fell in line, don't get me wrong, I had to hit up some of my dogs and be like, hey, let's go get one. And you think about what, like I said, what the Spartans already had, like the recruiting thing is real. You see what the Bees picked up. Like, TJ's got a squad. He's got people that was missing this week, obviously. Like, so it's just like KFFL is gonna, and then X Dogs. You know what I mean? Like, Matty Ice is, like you were saying. I'm glad you give Matty his respect because I don't mean any disrespect to the X Dogs because they're my guys. They got a top O line. No matter where you go, they got a top O line. If Matty Ice has some real weapons, like, I mean, like some ADR, Showtime, Misfits, AFN, like some real weapons with that O line and Matty, like that. Matty's different. Matty Ice is different. You gotta give him respect. You got to, like, he gonna find a way, and he's always found it with no disrespect. Less than stellar athletes out wide. Just keeping it real. He'll have, like, he's had his years where he's had some athletes out there, like one or two, but it's never been to the point to where, like, oh shit, like, you gotta worry about 3 or 4 guys. Nah, give him some weapons like that and you'll really see.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Matt is one of those guys who he's a rare talent, and I look forward to seeing that matchup later in the season with X Dogs and Spartans. I feel like that's going to be a very interesting game, especially if they end up meeting later on in the postseason. I feel like that's a potentially really damn good matchup. Your other opponent for this weekend is Prime Time. You played them actually back in Greencastle back in January during the 4-State Fours tournament. Spartans were victorious in that game, 19-13. Absolutely good game broke out between you two. Prime Time was a little more loaded that day, and honestly, I think the team they have now is not anywhere close to the team they had then. Your impressions of Prime Time going into this matchup?
All right, so I watched them a little bit. I haven't really. I'll sit back probably tonight, pull me a glass, roll up, watch the game, watch some film on them and Venom, or I mean Outlaws, not my bad, but watch the Venom and Primetime game, I think it was, and then watch them play Reckless Villains also. But it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be at first a tough game, a close game. Like, if we don't come out, like I said, with that energy, and we don't come out and make a statement early, I think they're a team that's not going to, like, they're not going to lay down. They got some, like y'all just said. Y'all talking about Howard, and like they're not gonna lay down. I can tell you that much. Like none of the teams in this league, like we're gonna physically try and make you quit. That's the goal, especially the defense. Like we're gonna play a physical style ball. We're gonna physically try to make you quit. But I don't think these teams gonna tap out. Like I think it's gonna be a close game at first, and then it's just Keenan's gonna get things rolling, and next thing you know, it's gonna look a little bit like it did with the bees. So, I mean, I think they're a solid team. I don't think we could sleep on them, but I just like I said, we're treating every team the same. There's certain teams, obviously, because of some of the talk on the internet and some of the history that you obviously like you get up for a little bit more. But man, this is my comeback season. We the way these guys are already acting, the way that I feel about being back, the way that like Cortez said it on Facebook, like these young boys, shoot, they making us feel a certain type of way, like us older guys out there, like these young boys celebrating, they talking shit, they live. Like, I mean, y'all know how I like to play. So the fact I got even more dogs around me that like that, phew, man, I'm excited. I'm ready. So no disrespect to primetime or outlaws, but the way I look at it, they just in the way. They're just another notch on the schedule. Like we gotta go out there do our job. I know they got some dogs over there, but as long as we play how the Spartans supposed to play, can't nobody beat us but ourselves. I fully believe that shit. So I think they got some athletes. Definitely got some athletes. I give them that. But that O line, they couldn't hold up against Venom like that. Like I get it. Maybe Reckless Villains didn't get as many sacks because they had bigger rushers. They have more physical guys that's gonna plug holes and shit like that. They're not gonna run down no quick or agile quarterback or none of that shit. But the Spartans, they got a mixture of that. They got a mixture of your big guys. Then you could add some speed out there. The primetime O line couldn't handle all the defensive lines they played.
Yeah, what were your thoughts on that play by Pat Freedom back to back, Nate Barrick?
All right, Jay. So I hear people talking about, oh, he played D line. He not an O lineman. He a grown ass man. He a grown ass man. I understand getting got once. Like, okay, it happens. Like but I'd be damned if it happens again. On fact, they said that shit happened back to back. Hell no. I don't care. D line, O line, wide receiver. I've seen wide receivers step down on the A circuit, and then Boone's offense have to block against some of the best pass rushers in the country, and they don't get sat down like that. That shit's about heart. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's what I'm saying. He better not show up against us. I'm telling you now.
Oh my
He
goodness.
better not show up against us, because that shit's gonna happen over and over and over again. If he think he gonna come with that type, he better sit the fuck down. I'm sorry. That's that's pitiful. Like I said, forget being an O line or a D lineman. I ain't no O lineman, but I'm at least gonna show some heart. Like, come on, man. That Pat put that man. I don't.
And then the next drive, they put him on the other side against Cash, and Cash got by him immediately.
Yeah, what is he doing? Like, he's an 8-man lineman. He's used to like tapping you on the shoulder and turning around, talking about ball, ball, ball.
Well, the thing about their 8-man up in York, up in Hanover, their 8-man, their linemen are all three down like a 9. And honestly, what I saw last week, they didn't really have much passes to the linemen during that tournament. Up in Hanover.
Well,
But
then I don't know. I don't know if they. I don't know if he didn't watch like any other games before. Like I don't know if he was just throwing the ball back and forth with his guys or whatever, and didn't watch any of the games beforehand. But I, this nine man shit different. Like they they not they're not just gonna patty cake around you. Like that was like don't get me wrong, Pat's been working and that boy always go hard, 100%. Ever since I saw him play out in Winchester, that man go 110% every play. It's like he don't get tired. I don't know what it is, but nah, man. If you better bring your big boy pants on motherfucking Saturday. You playing the Spartans and you out there tiptoeing like that. Can't tiptoe around my football field. I'm sorry. Somebody gonna lay you down.
and with that ferocious of a pass rush, shoo. Prime time, you got to hit up somebody from York. Hit up Earl Leonard if you have to. You at least somebody up there.
You better call somebody. I don't know what to tell you.
I think you guys are going to have a lot of success this weekend with your matchup against the Outlaws. I don't think that one's going to be much of a competition, maybe at first, but as the game progresses, I think you got that one pretty much in hand. Primetime could end up surprising us with another game. They had both the top two games last week. They could bring another couple ballers this week. So I wouldn't sleep on them, but I'd have you guys probably projected to win that one as well. So this could be one hell of a start to a KFFL legacy here for Spartans.
Man, we trying to go get one for Don. That's the goal. Honestly, I'm saying trying to get one for Don. Their mindset is they trying to get two. That's everybody on the Spartans who's playing in county. That's their mindset. They trying to go get two.
So I'm gonna make a point. Don actually that Saturday marked the 5-year anniversary of when Don debuted in Washington County with Food Lion back in the spring of 2016. Which
think
was
about that.
Yeah, his very first team. They went out there and actually we're gonna post some footage after this game of a very early Don Brown game, 2016, Survivors versus Food Lion. That was a good game back then. And you'll see just how this franchise evolved. You know, Dame, you were there when Don had that Spartans team originally in Washington County.
Mm-hmm.
And
we TMT played them.
Yeah, and you guys actually had a very competitive game back in the spring of 17 against them. I believe that was your all second game. You had beaten the Warriors the week prior by 40, and then you came out against the Spartans, and that was a very competitive game that came down to the very end.
Yeah, there was. I remember that game.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to think how far everybody from back then has came along in this area. Like the flag football has definitely stepped up since 2017.
Yeah. I was on the phone earlier with my new boss on Sundays, Mr. Terrell Gordon of the OMFFL, and we were talking about the growth of flag football in both this region, of course, of Owings Mills. And I told him, like, man, like the talent we have here is so underrated. And it's tough to get us out there on the circuit. A lot of guys, they work weekend jobs. And a lot of guys, they don't have the money to make it work. You yourself, you saw the struggle, Dame, when you were trying to compete on the A bracket circuit with ADR many years ago.
Yeah, it's tough making sure you got guys out there. Not just guys. When you playing on the A circuit, you gotta have guys in the right position. You can't have some just random dude out there playing DB because he's a good athlete. Like you gotta have DBs out here. You got wide receivers who know what they're doing, know how to run routes, know how to attack the ball. They know how to use their body. They know how to lean. They know how to play football. They've been doing it their whole lives. You're playing against D1 NFL athletes. Like, it's no joke. So
It's
it is
different.
hard. Like, it's different.
Man.
It is different. Like, and even now, like the B bracket is no slouch. Like, that's just not a cupcake. Like, because people got to understand, like, just because it's the B bracket, don't get me wrong. There's some teams in there gonna go in there, you're gonna win by 2-3 touchdowns. But them top teams in the B bracket, yeah, they ain't no joke. You ain't gonna just walk into a B bracket tournament, come out with the trophy and think, yeah, this shit gonna be easy. Nah. Like, I'm telling you, that B bracket gonna open some people's eyes at Ocean City. Like, circuit ball is different. Like, you got to be able to bring it. It's a whole different atmosphere out there. Like, the physicality is totally different. Like, if you've never played outside of KFFFL or Washington County, you gonna be in for a whole rude awakening.
Exactly. And, I'm not going to say names, but, somebody was in the comment section in the Uncut page the other day talking about how this game made fun for them. If you're not having fun, go out there on the circuit. Go out there, get challenged. I go back to my experience in Virginia Beach back in 2015 playing for the Red Knights. My first circuit game off the gate was the Blue Chargers. And standing across from me at that game on the other side was the man himself, Mike D, who just won the A bracket national championship 2 months ago at Nationals. And I look back at that talent I faced that day, not just Blue Chargers. I had to play against Rideout right after that. That's a baptism into the circuit when you have a team like BC who was dominant for a period in this game, and a team like Rideout, who has had 15 years of success on the B circuit, a team that's a perennial top 5, top 10 team every year. It's different. And I came away from that. I played 40 snaps that weekend. 40. I had more reps that weekend than I did on any team I ever played for or even coached. I played for the Red Knights more than TBT. Let's put it like that. And I came away that weekend realizing what this game is and seeing what it takes to win on that level. And a lot of guys here, a lot of guys who think they are tough, they are big in the hometown. If you want to show your worth, you go out there and you travel the circuit, because you'll see what's out there and what it takes to be a winner. A lot of you guys may not make it, but the ones who thrive in that environment are destined to have a lot of fun play ahead. And I'm really looking forward, because you think about it, Dane, Spartans, X-Dogs, Bees, all of them are going to be at Ocean City. 3 KFFL teams.
Definitely a strong rep.
That's big for the KFFL to keep, like, 3 teams that are playing in the spring season, like in that actual season, and they're going to the Ocean City. Like, how many teams the Washington County got going? Broadax, and I guess you could count Spartans.
Yeah, Broadax and Spartans. So 2 teams. You could argue maybe the Spartans are more of a keystone team now. Identities don't mean anything. Everyone's trying to get bump at this point. You hear about how a lot of teams are playing in both OMFFL and MAFL on Sundays now. Everybody's just trying to get the work in to be better out there on the circuit, because at the end of the day, it don't matter what you're doing in your backyard against, like you said over the years, Dame, high school janitors and gym teachers.
Nah, you right. You using my words against me. You right. It ain't nothing to do this shit out here. Like, you supposed to. Like, that's what I'm telling these guys. Like, we supposed to go out here and handle business. We supposed to go out here and let teams know they're not on our level. There's levels to this shit. It's always been my favorite saying. Like, we got to go out there and in county and in Keystone, you gotta make a statement. You gotta fine tune some things, work on your craft in these leagues, so that when you go out to Ocean City, when you go to Virginia Beach, Atlantic City Nationals, when you make these trips against the best of the best, you ready, because you can't simulate that. You just gotta go out here and take shit serious. And no matter if you're playing the Outlaws or the Killer Bees or the X Dogs, you gotta treat them like you going up against main event, like you going up against Rampage, Misfits, PME. You gotta treat it like that.
Yeah, we saw that approach on ADR when you all murdered Doom Squad.
Yeah, we don't take. Like I said, I'm gonna try and bring that same attitude and swag with me everywhere I go. So when we play Outlaws, when we play Primetime, when we play Venom, it's time to set personal goals. I'm gonna tell these young boys, this is your game to go out there and get 4 tutties. This is your game to go out there and show off. Like, so let's go do it. Let's not mess around and make it a close game. Let's go out there and break records. Let's go out there and, you know what I mean, start your legacy. So every game is a chance to make a name for yourself. So sorry, Outlaws, Primetime. We try and make a name for ourselves.
And making names, the Spartans will this week. Got to give a shout out, Tri-State Spartans. They're going to come out balling this week. We're looking forward to it. I'm going to ask you one more question. Your impressions on the matchup Sunday with the Spartans against Broadaxe. I know you're not allowed to be in Williamsport, but I want your opinion on that matchup.
Man, what I would give to play in that game. My opinion is Broadaxe has added some pieces. I mean, there's some talks out there. Broadaxe ain't got the same old little shit they got. They done added some athletes. They done added some dogs. So I think Broadaxe gonna have a good team. I think Spartans is rolling right now. I think they was coming in before KFFL. You gotta see the game they had against Showtime. Even though they lost, the last meaningful football game they played was Showtime that, and then before that in the 5 or however the times they work in that 5-man tournament, like they've been rolling. They riding the wave right now. After these last 2 games in KFFL, after these next 2 games in KFFL, they're gonna be on a they're gonna be on a roll. So it's gonna be a good game. I definitely think it could go either way if the Spartans don't stay together and believe in themselves like they have been, like, and realize that what they got can overcome a bad player too. Like, a bad player too don't ruin you. So if they realize they can overcome that, Spartans should win. They should. I think the Spartans, honestly, right now, the way they're rolling, I think they should win that game. Broadaxe, you know what I mean? Tom got a team out there. So, I mean, it's definitely, I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to come down to who takes care of the ball and who, I mean, capitalize off the mistakes. Like, that's who's going to win this game. It's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be physical. Like I said, I think Spartans pull it out in a close one. Obviously, I'm biased, but Broadaxe got a squad.
They indeed have a squad. I'm looking forward to that game. I won't be there for it. I'll be at Owings Mills over in Essex, Kenwood High. We'll have some games that day from there. Anybody willing to go down there and attempt to go live from the river boat in Williamsport, feel free to try. If not, I recommend taking video on your phone and doing commentary on the phone while you're calling the game. It's a pretty good idea. Something that I did a while back, actually, when I had no service. and something that shout out to the big man Israel Veloda does. He does that up there for New Era Flag Football, and of course, any team him and his brother are a part of. But I'd like to see that film. I'd like to see how that goes. Looking forward to it. Big weekend for the Spartans. 3 games total for that franchise this weekend. Don's got them getting ready for what's to come with Ocean City. I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, man. Stay tuned, man. Look out for the Spartans. This ain't it. The only way to go is up. There's a bunch of young boys on that team. They're not going nowhere. There's a reason. Y'all know me. I'm not just going to put my name on anything. I'm not just going to be like, yeah, I'll come rock with y'all. Like, there's a reason. I saw what this team was doing even before I jumped on last year. I saw where they was headed. I saw the pieces they had. Spartans on the way up. That's all I can say.
And I can't wait to see how this team grows throughout the season. Damian Kason, thank you for joining us tonight. Big shout out to you on your comeback. Looking forward to the tour. Can't wait to see what happens in 2021 for Damn Dame.
Appreciate
Good luck
you,
this
man.
weekend, my man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me, you guys. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate
you, Dame. Thank you for joining us tonight. Damian Kason. Glad to see Dame back on the field, man. Let me tell you, I've watched Dame from the very beginning of when he first arrived to the 4th state in 9-man back at the Hagerstown tournament 2016. I remember the first time just watching him get in Jaya Mia's face after a sack when she was talking mad shit about us. Too much talent during the game. Yeah, that was the moment where Damn Dame was born on the field. And seeing where he is now with the Spartans team, that comeback came very fast. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Damian Kason and the Tri-State Spartans do in 2021.
They have an opportunity to get off to one hell of a start here in the KFFL. And, they keep rolling like he was saying. They could do some damage out there in Ocean City, at least until the Bees get to see him again, if that would be the case.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Moving on to number 3 now.
Back to the power rankings.
Number 3, who we got on my end? I got the Reckless Villains.
Yeah, Joe.
Actually, let's be real here. If you want to see my top 3, let me just name them. Trace. Dogs, Spartans 2, number 3, Villains. That's my top 3. Villains, like I said, of all the one-loss teams, they look the best with 11 guys. They got more coming, man. They got more coming. There's no way this is all Tuz has. When you have the connections TJ Williams has and the connections that Chris Tivis has, you can't sleep on this team. You just can't, bro.
I don't think anybody's going to be sleeping on them. They are fully expecting a fight every time the Villains are on the field. I have them at number 3 as well. And spoiler alert, we actually have the same power rankings this week.
Wow. I'm used to Ross's negative ass disagreeing with me.
No, well, I mean, when you speak logical, I can't really disagree. The Spartans.
Let me tell you, I always speak logical compared to Ross.
Yeah, the Spartans, they put on a show week 1. However, as you said last week, that good old Ric Flair quote, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. So until the Spartans are able to take down the X-Dogs, it's going to be quite difficult to move them into that number 1 spot.
Exactly, man. Like I said, this, in the very beginning, this is still the X-Dogs League. Don't get me wrong. TBT. We
shit.
We went 3-0 against the X-Dogs. We hit the trifecta. We won the league. We won your 2 tournaments. But, when you take a look at who's got the better overall record, they only had 1 loss in Keystone. Well, Well, 4 losses technically. We only had about. I'm gonna stop. But anyhow, anyways, anywho, like I'm just saying, it's all love, Ross. It's all love, Ross. But Tri-State, they're number 2. Like I said, they are the hottest team in this area over the last year. You take a look at the turnaround with Don Brown and company, the addition of Damian Kayson, the addition of the talent they brought in, Sean Parker, AJ Reynolds. You bring in Cortez Boyce, and there's much more to come from what Dame was saying. I'm telling you, man, I'm looking forward to what they bring. But like I said, you gotta beat the man to be the man. And this is the X Dogs League when TBT's not around.
You like to throw those little subtle shots in there at the end of a compliment, don't you, Mr. Blaze?
I'm just talking shit.
Just talking shit. I wouldn't expect any less. I think we've watched enough of your shows. You like to talk your shit just like the rest of us.
I'm just more subtle about it. I'm more of a nice guy about it. But let's move on from the power rankings. Let's get to the matchups this week. I'm going to pull up the schedule right now. Going to be kicking off at about 8 a.m. We got Venom and the X-Dogs. Who you got, Keith Giles? First ever meeting between these two franchises. Of course, you know, there's players on Venom. They're familiar with the X-Dogs. They've played them many times over the years. But this will be the first time we've seen these two franchises face off. I got to go X-Dogs, man. The trenches are too big. Matt Eisenberg and company are too much. I'm going X-Dogs here. 3 scores.
I honestly have a feeling this could be a short game myself. The Venom needs more size on their D line. You know, I understand it worked last week. Pat, you know, while evidently he can bulldoze a big motherfucker when he needs to, I would not rely on that every week. Eventually, someone will grab Pat like they grabbed me and throw me head over heels.
Like a Jason Brady, for instance.
Yes. So, no, it's good.
Jason Kinsler, even.
It doesn't really matter. When you're size of me and Pat, any of the big guys can whip you around like a rag doll. But no, it's going to be X-Dogs easily. I don't know what the spread will be, but I foresee it being a shortened game.
I do too. I got X-Dogs big. Like Venom can fight, but
much love, Venom. Hey, anybody from Venom watching Kenny right now? I know you're probably giving me the stink eye. You know, this is no easy task. Sorry, guys, but it's X-Dogs this week.
Yeah. Talk about the next game real quick. What are your impressions on Spartans and Outlaws? I'll be right
back. Spartans and Outlaws. This is pretty much going to be in the same way I'm looking at the X-Dogs and Venom. Outlaw, again, much love to you guys. You're building it back. You're building up. The Spartans just way too hot right now. They are rolling, and they're prepping for Ocean City. So I'm sorry, Outlaws, but this one's going to be Spartans, and you know, you're going to put up a fight in the first quarter. I think over time the Spartans will just wear you out, tire them down. So Spartans win this one. This one could also end with a shortened game. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong on both of those. We always like to see the full games played. But, yeah, that one's going to be the Spartans. Since Joey's not back, we can always come back to his opinion on that game. The third game of the day will be Primetime versus Spartans. This could be the game of the week. I think the Spartans have the advantage in this one also. Primetime was not able to keep anybody out of the pocket last week. Sack, and there would have been a whole lot more if flag pools would have been executed properly. So I definitely see the Spartans coming out on top. This will be a full game. This will be a good game by any stretch. I see this one being probably a 7-point game myself. Mr. Blaze, I don't believe you gave us your opinion on game number 2. I have given my opinion on game number 3. The Spartans were my pick for the Outlaws matchup, with the possibility of also a shortened game. I hope not, but I see that as a possibility.
Well, let me tell you, Don is pissed at Tom Matthews because Tom tried to take the Spartan name after the Greencastle Antrim Spartans died, and then he proceeded to change the colors to blue and white and created the new Spartans, and they thought they were the real Spartans, but then Don brought back the Spartans, and now Don's looking for revenge against the Spartans or Browns or Outlaws, whatever you want to call it. Spartans by 40.
Spartans by 40. Yeah.
Damn Dame is going to be all over the place. Keenan Poller. I'll tell you, I've been around Keenan Poller for many years. He's playing his best ball right now he's ever played. Like, I watched Keenan when he played with me on the West Virginia Ducks. I saw him after that. He's had a long road to get to this point. He struggled on program. He struggled on Top Gun, just trying to find his place. I think he's finally finding his niche at this point of his career. And I do believe that this Spartan team is going to annihilate the Outlaws. And as for the last game for that Spartans prime time, there's too much trenches. Like, prime time's got athletes, don't get me wrong, but as I saw last week with that Venom game, they don't have any trenches. And if you have no trenches and you're going to try to out-finesse a Damian Cason defense, you're not going to win. You're just not. Unless your quarterback's Chris Boone, you ain't going to do well against that kind of defense.
No.
And I just don't see it with this primetime team. Spartans big. They got them both. Get the broom out. It's a sweep.
Is the Spartans prime time? Is that our first full game of the weekend?
Bro, I don't even think so. No. This Spartan.
Oh my.
Dude, if we were to have alphabetical rankings of each team, I would have to give this Spartans team. They're a borderline A team. This primetime team is not so ready for prime time. They're not Gusto Land. They're definitely not Baez Auto. Ryan Jones got to do something, man. You got to do something, Ryan. Ain't going to help you having Patrick Crawford out there. I'm just saying.
Just for the record, prime time, I told you last week I was going to watch and I was going to learn about you. So just remember, I'm the one vouching that this is going to be the first full game of the weekend. So go ahead and prove me right. All right. I think you're going to put up more of a fight than Mr. Blaze might be giving you credit for. So prove me right. But the Spartans are still going to win.
Big facts. Big facts.
And then the closing game of the weekend is Primetime versus my Killer Bees.
This is actually the second meeting between you all. First time was back in the consolation game of round 2 of the 4-state fours in the fairgrounds. Primetime won that game 19-0. Howard Holton was just sitting there at his bed watching the first game with the Spartans, and he sat there and thought to himself, this looks pretty fun. And then he drove about 90 minutes to Hagerstown and proceeded to put up 3 touchdowns, got a pick against them. Just absolute baller, man. And I think this is going to be a competitive game. The Killer Bees, they need to do something here. You guys have to win this game. You guys can't afford to lose this game. From a morale standpoint, from a going forward standpoint, especially if the big 3, as I've heard about, are going to be there. I don't know what the status is. I love to see them there because, all three are ballers. They can play. But I also want to see all three there because I don't want to hear we were missing this guy, this guy, this guy. You are better than that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And look, not giving away anything to cripple the team. I honestly think if we don't have those big three, I think we still win this game. Watching the Swiss cheese that was the primetime offensive line, I think the trenches on our defense will be massive, and I think he's going to have to decide quick if he's going to throw or run the ball. And I just see our defense coming out with a hell of an aggression, hungry to make up for last week, and with the three of them, I think we can dismantle primetime. Now, I see it being a very close game without the three of them, but I think we still win.
We'll see.
Killer bees on the win column this week. It's happening.
I'm going to have to pick the bees as well, but it's out of love to guys like Polo and guys like Coop and guys like Taylor Suiters and Tyler Spencer. And look what he's doing. Oh, he's got it on. Oh, look at Homer right
Here we go. We go.
He rocking the jersey on Wednesday, but his ass is going to be on the field come Saturday.
No, my ass will be on a pool table. For those of you that don't know me like that, I am also a captain of a pool team. We are
9-ball, right?
9-ball and 8-ball.
Do you play two different styles, the 9-ball style and the 8-ball style? Do they got 5-ball style?
They do not have 5-ball style. They do have 10-ball style, however.
That's an idea. 10-man flag football. That's the next innovation.
That's next. We can make that happen. But yeah, so I am currently trying to win a trip to Vegas for nationals with my team. So I will be absent this weekend. However, I feel like my bees will be able to handle it without me there this weekend. I wish I could be there. I would love to have an opportunity to play against primetime, especially since I haven't gotten to before. But yeah, I think my bees got this, and it's good to hear that you have to agree with me on that one.
I think so too. There's superior 9-man talent overall on your bees team. You guys should not lose this game at all. There should be no excuse for this. With the talent you all have, you throw in a Carlos Sanchez, a Chad Claggett, a Sean Moats. You all should be better than that. We'll see. I'll be live that day. Look forward to it. Gonna be lit. Gonna be legit. Killer Bees, prime time. Final game of the day. Let's look it over. 8 a.m. we'll have Venom and X-Dogs. 9:15 we'll have Spartans. And, of course, they're going to be taking on the Outlaws. And then at 10:30 we're going to have Spartans again with prime time. And then 11:45 we'll wrap up the day with a good one between the Killer Bees and prime time. Really looking forward to seeing what happens. I'm just glad to be out there this Saturday and ship, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be there bright and early. You know me. I'll be there at 7 a.m. watching Eric freeze his ass off at the sign-in table.
Yeah, Eric has some dedication there. He's a good man.
Shout out Eric Cardi. Thank you for number 4.
Oh my God! One more shot in here before we
to an extent number 2 as well.
Well, this is a new Bees team, and the Bees will get on the board here and start their path upward the ladder here.
I've been thinking about calling you guys TBT.
Oh my goodness!
Not my endorsement, though. Not my endorsement.
Not your endorsement. Heard that. Yeah, we do not approve of the.
I'm a neutral party. I'm retired from running teams, at least in KFFL.
Dun dun dun. He leaves the door open.
Yeah, if anybody needs a 5 co-ed coach, let me know.
Well, Mr. Blaze, this has been a pretty good show we've had here tonight.
Yeah, any shout outs you want to give tonight, Keith?
Shout outs. Oh man, the man's name that I will never forget. He had a 2-point conversion interception return. First time that I can recall seeing one in a very long time. Mr. Eric Jones, just a baller. I did not know his name at the start. I saw it in the comments, and I made the comment I would not forget his name again, and I did not. However, I did get the note on everybody with Wheeler. So my next game call, I will make sure to make that adjustment. Like I said, learning.
What's his last name?
What's that?
What's his last name? It's not Wheeler. What is it? I seriously thought that was Josh Wheeler out there playing quarterback for Spartans when you were saying that. I was wondering to myself, like, Josh Wheeler is different these days. I didn't know he played quarterback now. West Virginia Ducks.
Honestly, I forget who they said it was at the moment.
Forward, by the way, I'll let you know. Keith, I know you're new to the game. I'm proud of what you're doing so far, bro. You're doing great. I really appreciate you coming along and doing this. It's good to have you out here in the 4th state. You got my endorsement 100%. I'm looking forward to seeing you again next Saturday out there in the Stone of Key. And, of course, you're making your circuit debut in Ocean City in 2 weeks.
Both as a player and as a live streamer. So I am excited as all hell for Ocean City. It's going to be, as you say, lit and legit, and we're going to be ready to go.
And I'm ready to go for this weekend, man. It's always a grind in the KFFL. And you got to say, like, the KFFL, this is the best season that the league has had yet, bro.
And it's only just begun.
Exactly. I'm glad to be a part of this 100% for real. I really like what's going on with the KFFL right now. Everybody's out there, and we're just having fun. It don't matter what league we're playing. We're here playing the game we love the most. And to me, I haven't been around this game for 7 years now. Overall, I'll be celebrating the 25th anniversary next fall of when I first discovered 9-man flag football as a kid. And I'll tell you, this is the greatest the game has ever been. And I'm really happy to see these young kids get out there. And, I want to give a big shout out to Timothy Rich and the Rich Foundation and the OMFFL. My boss is on Sunday, the Owings Mills Flag Football League. They're going to be doing a youth 9-man summer tournament May 23rd. Age group is 12 to 14. By the way, bigger bonus. It's free to be a part of.
Yes.
We're doing this for the kids of the area, of the country. We want you all to get out there and play some 9-man flag football. Let's go out there and introduce the sport to the next generation, because all of us, we're getting older. And, while some people do have that longevity, we talked about Doc last night on the OMFFL show. Doc is 55 years old. He's about to turn 56. He's still playing quarterback at a high level in 9-man. Go out there. Some of us, we're feeling old. I get it. I don't know how many of us are going to make it to 40, let alone 50 in this game. But it's time we start building this game for the younger generation. It's time we start growing this game for the younger generation. And it makes me happy seeing all these young kids get out there and start playing in this game. I go back to 2 examples back at Nationals. There were two kids out there, one on the Blazers, one on the NTB Wolfpack, both of which were 16 years old out there playing ball at a high level on the biggest stage of 9-man flag football. You take a look at what O'Shane Thorpe did last year for the Warriors coming in. He had just turned 18 the week prior to the season, and within less than 2 months, he's out there on rampage playing corner against Greg Proctor on the circuit, one of the greatest quarterbacks in the DMV, perhaps the best quarterback in the DMV. And you take a look at what's to come, you got to give a shout out. OMFFL, May 23rd. We're going to have a 9-man tournament, kids age 12 through 14. I don't know how many of you are youth coaches or work with kids, but if you're either of those, or you got a kid yourself and he's got some friends, go out there and bring them to that tournament. Let them play ball. Let's get ready for the next generation of flag football. And it blows my mind to think we have kids out there now playing this game who were born after the X-Dogs were found.
It's a reality check for sure. And this is no longer your gym class flag football.
We don't play with no Velcro flags in this.
No. You know, a true story, in 9th grade gym class flag football, up here it was Faust. I got elbowed in the mouth trying to grab a flag, and I actually busted 7 of my teeth out. So whenever I go into like a laser tag or whatnot, my mouth glows white. And that was my introduction to flag football. So, yeah. and I've loved it ever since. You know,
I go back to 2 photographs I took over the years in my career. One of which was Tyler Baum in Hagerstown back in 2017. He got a black eye playing against the Renegades in the semifinals of that tournament. And I go back to Ricky Miller the next season in that spring of 18 against the Warriors as part of Top Gun, in a game where Ricky got hit in his nose and he was bleeding all the way down through his mouth to his chest. His jersey at the end of it, was that famous photo of him holding the jersey, the Top Gun jersey with that Captain America shield on it, with blood from his nose all over it. Same thing, you know, Danny Longerbeam, my former coach on the Ducks, he got punched right in the nose against Market Street Mayhem back in the spring 17. This is not a game for kids on terms of the gym class style we play. This is a man's game. And I'm glad to see it being brought to the youth, because I feel it's going to teach a better generation of flag football players. And it's scary to think where this talent level is going to be over the next 10 to 20 years. This game is changing. It's growing. It's evolving. And this is the time to jump in and play ball. It's lit. It's legit. We got the best sport in America. 9-man flag football, Keystone Flag Football League. We run the 4-state. We got the DMV. It's going to be awesome this season. Team Blunt Talk, Try Hard Sports. If you love what you saw today or Saturday or last week, just wait till you see what we got.
The season has so much in store for us. Some great shows, great matchups, great game calls. It's only going to get better. Scratching the surface right now.
We have only just begun, Keith Giles. We have only just begun. Anyways, anyhow, anywho, we've hit 2 hours and 15 minutes tonight, Keith.
I know. That's quite a show here tonight, buddy. We had some good guests. We had some good conversations with the guests, some good outlooks on the prior week and the future week. Another good show here tonight, Joey.
It was a great show indeed, and I'm looking forward to more. We'll be back next Wednesday, same time. Till then, tune in this Saturday.
Killer Bees with the dub.
8 a.m. We got you. Joey Blaze is back in the house. The GOAT himself, the champion. Let me tell you, we got ourselves a barn burner that day. Quadruple header, start to finish. We got the X-Dogs and Venom. And then we got the Spartans taking on the Outlaws. And then we got Prime Time and the Spartans. And, of course, we're going to finish it off. Killer Bees, Prime Time. Till then, we got some more content the next couple days. Look forward to a classic game tomorrow. Survivors, Food Lion, first thing in the morning. We going back to the beginning of Donnie's career as a coach, spring 2016.
It sounds lovely. Can't wait to see it. And Joey Blaze, Keith Giles, this is all for the evening. It was wonderful to have you, and see you next week.
See you next week, and see you Saturday morning, Shippensburg Memorial Park, Shippensburg, PA, the Keystone Flag Football League, presented by Team Blunt Talk and Try Hard Sports. Before that, though, I got you all tomorrow night. We got a debut. Welcome the Warriors.